Okay, I think it's working now. Well, now it's not gonna have the thingy, so no point trying to stream snipe myself.
For this game to just drop you directly into the game. So to be clear, both Braid and the Witness, it's not even just that there's no splash screen. There's no main menu or anything.
Yeah.
Like you go directly into the game. And that's sort of an artistic statement, or but it's also just sort of a like, look, if my job as a designer, I mean, here's the thing. You'll go on the internet and all these people are like teaching you how to design games, right? And it's all monetization, which is a word that I hate, or like how to be viral or something. And like, okay, all that stuff's fine, but or it's not really fine because it's very corrosive, but like if do you want to make something really good or not? And if you want to make something really good, your number one priority has to be the experience of the player, right? The main reason for
Imagine,
you making
let's
this
say
game
we
is
start
to
from here.
be
Then I can go up,
interesting,
down, and this way,
fun, or mind
and then
expanding,
this
or
way.
whatever kind of experience for the player. That
So we
has to
already
be
came from here. Then we can
the
go out.
number one item on the list of all the things you
So
consider
go
anytime
up
you're making a
half the
decision,
way,
right?
come
And then
down
how
from
does
the
that play
middle,
out into other parts of games? Like,
and then
if I'm trying to give you a good experience,
do another
why would I wait make you
bend.
wait longer to start the game so that you watch an advertisement for my studio, which it's not even a real it's like a logo is like brainwashing, right? Because I'm not telling you why my studio is good. I'm forcing you to get the impression in your brain of the name and the image.
Oh, I
And
just start from
that's
the middle.
actually the opposite. That's a parasitic
So I
relationship where
cannot
you're
come back
using
here. So
the
there is a
player's
door here,
brain
and there is a
like
door here, I
as
think,
a resource that you're trying to extract something.
and then door here.
And I try not to do that to the greatest extent possible, which is why we don't have this kind of branding, right? And it's another reason. But we don't really have it anywhere. So like if you run the Witness,
Oh shit, also it's inverted.
you
Is
can
it?
hit escape to pop the menu up. We don't have a
No.
company logo there either. It's just the menu that lets you do the things, right?
Yeah.
If you look
Now I
if you
can
look in
stream
the
snipe
credits,
myself.
well, okay, there's no credits screen in the Witness. The credits is a thing that you only get to by working very hard to get to the end of the game. Um, and in there, you maybe will hear the name of the company, right? So it's really buried. It's really buried.
It's like a secret of its own.
Yes, yes. I mean, you can look it up on because sites like Moby Games or whatever extract the credits and post them. But yeah, I've always been very anti that because I've always been very much about the goal of this is to make the best experience that we can given our limited capacity as human beings to do what we can do. And it's just so much of the games industry veers away from that very quickly. And I just, it makes me sad. It makes me sad.
So it ties into my next question, which was, how do you view your task as a game designer? Is there something more than like
Okay, it wasn't that I needed to go through the doors,
possible for the player?
but just I needed
Yeah,
to
I mean, that's a very vague
open
and
it
general
properly.
statement, right? And so when you start a new game, that new game is about something, like there's some core idea to it, hopefully. Maybe it's just a fun game mechanic. Like I'm going to make a tactics game where the combat's interesting and like maybe I like XCOM, but I want to make it different. Like that's a very
Okay,
mechanical
I
decision,
need to
but that's
go
still
there.
good enough. So then you say like, okay, making a good experience is about making sure these
Go
mechanics really work and not getting in the way of
middle,
them. Making sure, like if I'm doing a tactics
and
game
then go to the
and
left.
you want to make good decisions, I want to make sure the
But
scene
I
is
could have
readable
came
so
from
that you
here
see
too.
everything that matters.
Ah shit, it's gonna
And
be like
unless
Yeah, these
some
blocks,
systems
separating the
you have
blocks.
the
Is it?
confusion of war, and then that's a
No.
different rubric on which to make decisions, right? But
Otherwise, I
whichever
can
one of those
just, it's
things you
simple. I can
start
just
with, then
keep
becomes
bottom,
your basis for making
like
decisions going
enter,
forward. And
go to
so
the left
sometimes it's game mechanical,
and anywhere, and then go top and
it
exit.
is it is not. Sometimes it's more philosophical. So like in The Witness, there's
That is a
core
bot.
idea
That's how I came here.
spoiler, although you could very easily spoil yourself searching the game on the internet now. But there's a core idea behind the game that is sort of prior to mechanics a little bit. It determines
Nothing is
mechanics,
blocking me.
but it's more fundamental than that, and that drove all the decision making in the game.
And
It affected the puzzles. It affected the art style. Like The Witness has very bold colors with not a lot of high frequency detail, and the reason is because of this core philosophy that's behind the game. But that reason was not in play in Braid, and it's also not in play in the new game. And so all these games look different from each other because they're doing different things, right? And so as long as you know, as long as you have a very concrete goal, then for any decision you have to make, you can say, does this help me achieve that goal, or does it make it harder? Or is it orthogonal? Very few things are completely orthogonal, but you could be like, is it mostly orthogonal? And then once you have that, that helps you make your decisions. And it doesn't only help you make the decisions in an intelligent way, but it helps you make a set of decisions that globally are coherent with the point of the game. It's like a ferrous magnet, where the reason it has magnetism is because the little pieces of it are aligned, right? You want your game to be that way. You want the pieces to be aligned to create this magnetic field that's strong. You don't want them to all be misaligned.
I just just ran
And so
brute force at it.
that's
Yeah, I have no idea why it works, and I feel like that's not a good thing. I should not have done that, maybe.
When you were when you are the one who's designing the game, what kind of things you're searching for?
that changes every game, right? So in the new game, part of what
Still
we're
giving
doing
me a bit
is
of motion sickness.
exploring the space of game design that you get when you intentionally create a combinatoric. Oh, I just spilled my tea. When you intentionally create a combinatoric explosion. So, this is a thing that game designers have known happen for a long time. Is that you could take a couple different mechanics. You can just make up any mechanic that you want. Like, oh, my guy has a grappling hook, or I could double jump, or I can zoom in and aim that way. Like, these are all different things. And then game designers have known for a long time.
Maybe it's based on where I came
Get
from.
this very interesting
So we did
phenomenon
enter
where
here.
game mechanics interact with each other as opposed to being orthogonal. Like if they're totally orthogonal, well, okay, let me not use the word orthogonal, because there's a way that orthogonal can mean the opposite of what I intended to mean, like the complete opposite. Because in the programming language way, if things are orthogonal, that means they're composable to make a bigger thing, right? And that is actually good in game design. But what I'm trying to say here is sometimes there's just, you come up with some mechanics and they don't interact in any way and don't even apply to the same situations. And they're just like more things that happen in the game. And when you do that, it feels kind of dead and it feels like the game is trying very hard, right? But when they interact with each other, that generates more possibility and it generates fun, essentially, or surprise, or just interestingness. And this has been known certainly since the 90s, probably since the 80s, or maybe even earlier, right? And so part of the idea of this game is to focus on that effect. Let's look at that effect very closely and just see what we can do with it. And that is the mission statement for this game. And so when we say, is this a good level? There's a bunch of criteria that I won't get into, about how that's a good level. There's a speech actually that's related to this that it's from Indiecade 2011. Me and Mark Ten Bosch, who's been working on a game since then that still isn't out. If you think 10 years is a long time to work on a game, I know several people who have been working on games for substantially longer than that. Anyway, so there's a bunch of general criteria that propagate over, but some of them are very specific to this game. Like, okay, this game is about the combinatorics. Does this level observe some new space of the combinatorics? Does it use the objects to generate a new situation that we haven't seen before? Is that situation interesting? Are we able to make that situation simply, or is it really contrived? Do we have to like pile a bunch of crap in the level to barely make this thing happen? That's probably a bad level, right? But again, in the same way with the programming language, where it's like the goal is to get the power first, and then maybe we can get some simplicity back later by refining the language design. Here it's like, okay, I made this interesting thing happen with this ugly level. Now that I have that, can we make it less ugly, right? And so this is just how we decide, right? And for every game, though, because the ultimate idea behind the game is different, then the exact criteria for making those decisions is a little bit different.
Enter up and down,
Okay.
edge up and down.
Somewhat related question regarding this to the
So-
weakness, which
Enter
I'm not
up
gonna
and down.
explain it as well, but like it is, let's say, about noticing patterns.
And then
Sure.
up and down.
Yeah.
Was this the core idea of the witness then, and the game is built around that, or
Enter.
Yes. There's another brief talk that I gave at Indiecade that I think is still on YouTube. This one's only 10 minutes. But this was like when I was early. I think it was also in 2011 or maybe 2012, where the game was still several
and
years
down.
from being done. But it was far enough along that I knew that the design was successful and that it was going to be a good game, right? And I gave, it was sort of part of a panel talk where each of us spoke. The way you'll know it's the right one, maybe I can look it up after and put it in show notes or something, but it was also like Phil Fish, notorious game designer Phil Fish was also in this panel, I think. Or no, maybe that's a different one. I don't know.
if you manage to look it up, I can add it into the
Yeah,
show
I'll look
notes.
it up. Maybe this is, there's two different ones. Actually, this probably wasn't the Phil Fish one. Never mind. I will look it up and I will unambiguously, if it still exists on YouTube, I will give you the link. But during that one, I talk about what is essentially the core idea of the game. And I can try to describe it in a non-spoilery way, right? Which is that in puzzle game design for a while, there's been this observation that some puzzles are a lot more fun and interesting to solve than other ones. And what is it? And Valve put it this way in a speech about Portal sometime. They said that when you solve a good puzzle, you have this aha moment where you really understand what it was about, right? And I actually try to take it further than they did. Like, I think designing just to create that kind of moment is a little bit too reductive, because I think the content of what your aha is about, what that realization is about, actually matters. And so one of the things we do in The Witness is try to build some kind of abstract picture out of all these moments. We string them together and try to make, and so from the puzzles in the very beginning of the game, when I used to go and talk about this game at speeches, I would take some of the very early puzzles, like just you go through the dots, right? Or you have the little things in the squares that are right outside the starting area. And I would talk about how you have to gain realization of what those mean from moment to moment, right? And it's about sort of creating a continuous stream of those realizations as you go along. And that was the core idea of the game, although what I just said is one step more concrete. The actual core idea is more abstract than that. And but if people watch this speech, they'll see me give a pretty good explanation, I think. Yeah.
What do you think draws you to games?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder why I do all this anymore. Part of that is just what part of the
Damn
project
it.
I'm in. I'm really late in a project, and when that's true, you're in what is kind of the less exciting part, because you were super
Yeah.
excited in the beginning
I
because the
know.
idea was new, and you're like, oh man, this game's going to be so cool and
I
whatever,
know.
right? And then after you worked on it a couple years, it's been a lot of really hard work, and it's tiring, and you're not as excited about these ideas because they're old ideas to you now. And part of the excitement of ideas is when they're new. And so there's some psychological skill involved in bringing back the excitement, making it fresh again, remembering why these are exciting ideas, right? Lately, this project has been so long that this past few weeks, I've been really excited just by like, oh my God, we're actually getting toward the end in a visible way. We're not just lost in the desert forever, and that's exciting. But I forgot what your original question was again.
What really draws you to games and
Oh,
game
what draws me to
development?
games? Yeah, I mean, I just always really liked games from even when I was a little kid, like before I knew that I was going to work in games. I just made little hobby games on home computers. When I first learned to program, that was the first thing I did was made a really stupid game on it. Yeah, I don't know. And then now it's a way for me to explore ideas about the world, in like ideas about reality, like what is reality and what's going on and what are we doing. I just have found this way to explore that through games that in some way is more unique, because like our culture just hasn't done that very much, right? Like if I wanted to write some essays or some fictional novel that was inspired by like thinking about our role in the universe and what the universe is, it's like I could make an individual contribution, but there is a lot of that out there, right? And I would just be putting my own spot in there. Although, I can write a lot faster than I can program video games. So maybe that would have been a good idea. But instead, like
Let's
the
find the
idea that there's a running
most convoluted part
like in
that we
some sense
can.
the universe is a running system, right? And so if you want to talk about it, having a running system that changes from moment to moment is it certainly at least gives you a way to think about things, or a way to talk about things. If you talk through the game, the actual game, and not the plot of the game or the setting of the game, if you actually use the interactivity of the game, it gives you a way to approach these topics that can't be done anywhere else. And there don't seem to be very many people who are interested in this. I probably know of, I don't know, how many people do I know who even are trying to do this in a serious way as opposed to just like whatever. I mean, I maybe know 2 other people on the whole planet Earth, right? So, I mean, I've always wanted to do things that wouldn't be done if I didn't do them, and this definitely qualifies.
Okay, Dota it is. Victory shall be mine. Let's review community service. Community service. Ah. Hmm. Okay, Juggernaut, griefing.
Things? I think it's satisfying.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks have fallen.
It would be helpful if they told us who reported him. Okay.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Okay, he's wasting dust. So he's just wasting dust. Is that it?
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
Alright. He came in. And he's trying to farm. He has his items lined up. He's doing great. Okay. I got some KP. Great. Playing nicely.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Roshan is fallen to the dire.
Right, he got 3 dust. That's quite a bit of dust, but sure, why not?
Barracks are under attack.
And he goes in to fight, gets stunned. Use the Omni Slash. He gets a kill. That's good. And then he throws the dust. And then the smoke. Yeah, because you have to chase them. I mean, there they just couldn't decide. And use the small Omni Splash and then gets out of the way of Huskar. I mean, makes sense. Does he again throw the dust? No, he does not. It's on cooldown. Still, he's being nice.
Double kill.
Yeah, I mean, he has Basher. You can't really fight him easily. Yeah, he's not feeding.
Radiant's outer barracks have fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I mean, he is not defending. Base is being
Radiant's middle
run
barracks
over.
have fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Okay, he did
Radiant's
use.
middle barracks have fallen.
He did use his dust for no reason there. He wasn't even in the view. But is that even a problem? Who's in ways on their side? I guess, yeah, Wind would be, because she has a thingy. And grants invisibility. Okay, Wind is invis. And yeah, only it's Wind and no one else. Ah, damn it, we got the game. But either way, wasting dust at this point when your base is being overrun. Maybe he was doing it all the game, but there's no evidence for that. We can't really blame him for that. Hello, team. Hello. Hello. Hey
10
there.
seconds remaining. Your turn to pick.
Okay, there's Squishy now. Or Huskar. Huskar, yeah.